Okay, 3, 2, 1.
I just wanna sing a love song. La 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 la. I just wanna sing a love song.
It's time for another book club with my best friends, and this time we've read the book Omega by Susannah Sandlin. Okay, so guess what time it is? It is time for the real book club of Rancho Bernardo. Once again, I have some of my very best friends in the studio with me tonight, and we are going to talk about Omega by Susannah Sandlin, right? So let me tell you who's here tonight. We have Molly.
Yes.
Hello, Molly.
Hello, Laura. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it is my pleasure, Molly. We have Liz. Hello, Lizzie. Ooh, do that again.
I went sultry on you. Hello.
And we have Leslie.
Hi there.
So we're here in San Diego, and the portion of San Diego, the part of San Diego, is Rancho Bernardo. So we've decided to coin ourselves the real book club of Rancho Bernardo. And today we're going to talk about Omega, which is a vampire book. And I want to know, what do you guys think about the book?
The main characters were immediately likable, even though they were vampires.
There was enough of the relationships and the romance and the sex and the, heat and all of that to keep you intrigued.
There's good vampires and there's bad vampires, and it's a war between these two tribes of vampires. So we have, our main character is Will.
Right.
And this is a vampire who had something terrible happen to him in his past, and he has to overcome, and he's put walls up, and enter our kick-ass redheaded heroine vampire Randa.
Right. I don't know about you, but I saw Will in my mind as like Brad Pitt, circa
Oh my gosh, that's exactly who
Legends
I
of
went
the
to.
Fall.
Mm-hmm.
May I even say Thelma and Louise? If you
Oh,
know
please
that.
say.
Yeah.
Even if it's not relevant, just say it.
Just so we can think of Brad Pitt. But the fact that Will also had this troubled past, it made him vulnerable, and it made him have these, sort of sensitive moments with Randa that,
Do you think he had to say Randa?
and I think, we all can agree that women love yourself a project, right? I mean, we love a man that you have to work on a little bit, He was hard to break. He's hard to get into that deeper side. And so that when he did show his emotions, it means all that much more to her.
Right. Well, and then she was pretty
She was
closed
correct.
up as well, Miss Military Granny Pants.
Yeah, I didn't have a vision
Oh my gosh. Let's talk about the granny pants.
Let's talk about the granny
granny
pants.
That's so
Gray. I mean, really, did they even make gray granny panties?
In the
No, I don't think
military,
they
I'm
do.
sure.
I can speak from experience, they make nude and white granny panties. So when they get down and dirty for the first time, she's wearing her military grade granny panties. So that becomes like a running joke. And I love that in a vampire book, we've got something like the detail of the vampire wearing granny panties.
Yeah, and I like the fact that
yeah.
it was, that Randa was kind of struggling with being this new vampire and having to accept this new life. And I think it relates to how we sometimes have this vision for our lives, and we think that our lives are going to go this certain way. I think sometimes you are choosing to be happy. And so even it would be hard to choose to be happy as a vampire. I get that, maybe.
Wow, it's kind of deep. Like, we're talking about a vampire book, which was just super fun fantasy escape.
Right.
And part of what you got out of it is choosing happiness. To me, that's everything, choosing happiness.
Right. Well, my dad used to always tell me, life is not a dress rehearsal. Like, this is it. This is your final performance. This is closing night. You can't just go through life going, well, when this happens, then that'll be better.
This is it.
This is it.
So let's get to what's most important.
Yes.
Let's talk about why Will is sexy and what we like about him.
He's so confident in
he's
his
smart ass.
sexuality, and he's cocky
smart
but
ass.
sensitive.
The guy has to be brash and pushy and kind of snarky and cocky. And later we find out he's sensitive.
Right.
I don't want your sensitive up front.
No,
Keep
I'm
that
with you.
outside.
I'm
Yeah, it's like you got to
so with you on that.
You got to be hook, line, and sinker, reeled
Yes.
in.
Yeah, because
Yes.
if he's that way, you would think he's a
Right.
pushover.
In all reality, though, it's true. You do go after the guy that gives you that kind of that butterflies in the stomach. It's like, ooh, there's no way I would ever capture that hot stud piece of a man. Why would he ever be into me? And then, like, you find out he's totally a sap.
Right.
Yeah.
So-
then it's
Well,
like
and
the
then you go,
best
"Oh,
thing he
so
could say is,
sweet."
"I've never told anyone this before," but
Right.
and then it's like, "Oh,
Right.
Yes, Choir
I
of
did it."
Angels for
Or
sure.
like when they name a star after you or something.
Don't do that.
You know what? I think I would like a little bit of that in my life because my husband's a big alpha male. And he doesn't have all of that sappy, sensitive stuff. Like I sent him texts, for example, in True Life that say, I love you. I'm so appreciative of everything you do for me and the kids. And his text back is, I just barfed in my mouth a little bit. I'm like, thank you, and love you too.
Doesn't that secretly give you that whole like, oh, I don't really have him yet though feeling, and then it's like, kind of keeps the excitement
somewhere deep
going.
in there, he keeps you
I
coming
mean,
back for
obviously,
more, girl.
you know, I think that was initially the attraction too, is that he is sort of this larger than life and big personality, and you know.
But the question is, the guys that we read about and swoon over, like I have to tell you, I loved Will in this.
Absolutely.
Sexy, manly man, I loved him.
Right.
But is this the kind of man you want in your real life?
He's that dangerous
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
person. And
Can
I
you
don't know
trust
about you,
him?
but I think everybody has had an experience with somebody who's slightly dangerous.
Absolutely.
You know? No. Well, I know. Maybe not.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I did it. What about Cage though? I liked his character.
Well, he
I
was
loved
British.
Cage.
He was totally British.
Liam Neeson, though. Liam in
Yeah.
his prime is fine.
In his prime.
Because Liam is sexy man. And for anybody out there, you don't know this, I was picked from the audience on the Ellen Show to come on stage.
Right.
And I met Liam Neeson, and I actually smelled Liam Neeson.
and now you're
And what
saying
do you
he's
smell
old
like?
bag.
What did he smell like?
Irish Spring.
Was it Irish Spring? Really?
I was in such a euphoric state, and he could have smelled like, mashed potatoes, and I would have been in heaven.
There is something sexy about him,
Oh,
and he's not
God.
really honestly that sexy, right?
No, he is, and he's manly man, and he's big, and he's like,
Right, but that's why
he's
I
like,
liked
come
it.
here, lass, I'll take
And
care of
that
you, Oh my God.
Miranda is such a strong. I mean, she couldn't be more of a strong character, a strong woman. She's
Right.
military, and
Right.
you know.
But she had to let go.
Yeah, she had to surrender to
Right.
somewhat to her femininity was the metaphor because she wore the granny panties, which we all
Right.
know I adore. And
Yes,
I don't want to overstate
clearly.
the granny panties for anybody out there who might be listening. I mean, I do mix it up, but sometimes it's just nice to lounge around in a nice, good old fashioned pair of granny panties.
Full butts. Okay, I have to tell you one thing about the full butts. I have an inside joke with a girlfriend of mine that you've worked so hard all week that on Friday you should treat yourself to the full butt. So we always call each other up and
I
say,
like
Happy
that.
Full Butt Friday.
I like that. You know
love
what,
it.
Leslie? I'm going to challenge you to have a full bat Friday. Just go for it.
No.
Please.
I will. Okay, I will try the full
you.
butt Friday.
Thank you.
I will.
This is a challenge to anybody out there that might be listening. Let's all do it. Let's coin
try
it.
a
Happy
full.
full
We're going to
butt
have
Friday.
National Full Butt Friday.
Okay, but I got to go buy a new pair of underwear because the granny panties that I have, they would not be comfortable.
I'll let you borrow a pair of mine.
Okay, great.
Okay, so ladies, first of all, let's wrap up this. Do you recommend Omega?
Yes, I would recommend it. I thought it was interesting and, like you said, fast paced, and it had my attention, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the characters.
I loved it. And I'm going to shout Omega upon the rooftops. And I think I'm actually going to read the other ones now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
It made me want to read the other ones.
I would definitely recommend it. I felt like I was in their world and I didn't want to be out of their world.
Okay, when we talk to Susannah, when I have the privilege of talking to Susannah Sandlin in a moment, I want to know, what are your questions for her?
I am curious, like, how she comes up with these concepts.
How did she plot it out?
How did she plot it out? And like,
How the heck do you do this?
yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty awesome. Okay, round the table, we've all give it thumbs up. We love
Yes.
Omega.
Total
Love it.
thumbs
and
up.
we love
Loved it.
Susannah. And I love you girls. Thank you. Love
Thanks
you
for
too.
having
Me
us,
too.
Laura. This was such an honor.
It was fun.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
was
real
fun.
book club of Rancho Bernardo.